Okay, for guys who have low back pain, we're going to go over a couple easy tips you can start implementing in your program just to start calming down a little bit. So first step obviously is avoiding anything that causes pain. We're not going to continue spinal loading or shear loading, heavy deadlifts, heavy squats if you have low back pain. So first step is we're just going to avoid activities that do cause pain. Okay, if that's out of the way, we need to make sure that we're avoiding putting in compromised positions just throughout the day. So first thing is sitting position. We want to be able to maintain the natural curvature of the lumbar spine just throughout the day. That means when you're sitting, being very aware of your lower back posture, not sitting in very soft couches and just slouching. Make sure you're either sitting up straight, or if you're going to try to relax while you're sitting, I recommend putting a rolled up towel, something behind your back in the chair to maintain the natural lumbar curves of your back just throughout the day. One product that we really like, you can buy it from backfitpro.com and a couple other places. It's called the lumbar. Basically, it's a pad that you can put behind your back that you can actually increase or decrease how much air is in it until you find the right amount of support for your low back. So as far as sitting, that's something to be aware of. As far as standing, walking around, just making sure that throughout the day you're not making it worse. Go ahead, just relax, shoulder width stance, and take one hand, put it on your lower back musculature. Okay, a lot of you might have something of this type of posture. You're going to feel those muscles just always on, just very firm contraction of your spinal erectors. Go ahead, just lean back slightly and find the position at which you feel those turn off. So for me, when I first learned this, and these are from Dr. Stuart McGill, he's a world-renowned spine biomechanist. But when I first did this, I realized that I was kind of standing more towards the ball of my feet, slight forward lean, and my low back muscles were always on. So just by regulating and being aware of where those muscles start to turn off, we start placing less stress and loading on our spine throughout the day. So I noticed that I'm starting to walk around just a little bit more upright, a little bit more of a backward lean versus kind of a little bit more hunched over, those muscles always being cranked up to a higher capacity. Okay, so that's the second part is, again, we're reducing exercises in the gym that are going to be causing and worsening your pain. Second part, we're reducing sitting and standing postures that are going to be causing or increasing your pain. Third thing is we're going to look at walking throughout the day just as a therapeutic way of increasing blood flow to those muscles, getting some slight microactivation of all the muscles that surround the spine. So again, we're going to take what we learned from our standing posture of figuring out where you feel those muscles turn off, and we're going to work on walking. We're going to walk once per day, 20 to 30 minutes at the very minimum, up to 3 times per day, and just making sure that we're using this as a therapeutic exercise. So I'm going to go ahead and take that posture that we just worked on and try to maintain that while you're walking. So for most guys, this is going to mean a little bit brisker of a walk than normal. If you actually walk a little bit too slowly, that can actually be more strain on your muscles to maintain those static positions. But if you kind of breeze through those positions more dynamically, it can actually be a little bit less stress. So I recommend for guys with low back pain just starting their session, walking on a treadmill, and making sure earlier in the day or later in the day, you get a 30-minute just brisk walk, maintaining those postures, provided you're not getting any pain with that. So those are the 3 starting points I wanted to go over. The next 3 points are what Stuart McGill, that spine biomechanist from Canada, call his big 3 exercises. So these are aimed at allowing your body to stabilize the torso, stabilize the trunk musculature in all 3 planes of movement. So your spine can flex and extend, it can rotate either way, and it can laterally flex either way. A lot of that can cause pain if you have disc irritation, disc bulge, any of that sort of thing. So we want to actually learn to move our bodies around our hips, shoulder joints, but keep our spine itself, especially your lumbar spine. Your thoracic spine has a little bit more inherent range of motion. Keep our lumbar spine fixed and get the motion from your hips rather than at your spine itself. So the big 3 are based around resisting extension, not creating flexion extension, but resisting extension forces, resisting lateral flexion forces, and resisting rotational forces. So the first one we're going to go and look at, again, this is going to be based on continuum, based on how, upon your pain triggers and how bad your back condition is, but the lowest impact one Again, one knee is going to be up, one leg is going to be flat on the ground. We're going to put both hands under the low back just to maintain, again, the natural lumbar curvature. Okay, and all the movement is we're going to raise the elbows, the scaps, and the back of the head off the ground. You're going to hold that for a 10 count, making sure to breathe deeply throughout the entire hold and relax. Okay, so your first set, you're going to do 10 holds of 10 seconds, rest. Then we're going to do 8 holds of 10 seconds, rest, and then we're going to do 6 holds of 10 seconds. So that's going to be the first movement. Okay, again, that's an anti-extension exercise. Okay, gravity is trying to extend your spine, and we're resisting that extension. We're not crunching up, we're keeping the spine straight and resisting that extension in a neutral lumbar position. So the second position is an anti-lateral flexion. So it's basically a side plank progression. So the very lowest impact position, we're going to stack both knees, hips straight, and just raise the hips off the ground. Okay, again, 10-second hold. We're going to start with 6 reps of 10 seconds, flip sides, 6 reps of 10 seconds. The next time through, we're going to do 4 reps of 10 seconds, and the following time through, 2 reps of 10 seconds. Okay, with this one, we can make it a little bit harder, obviously, by straightening the legs. So top leg in front, feet about shoulder width. This would be the next progression once that starts to be pain-free and easy. And then the progression from there, elevating the feet up on a low bench. Okay, with that very first exercise I showed you guys, the progression from here is, first we're gonna lift that foot off the ground too. So lifting everything off the ground together. And then the next thing would be taking a rolled up towel or something to maintain that lumbar curve, so you don't have to use your hands for that. And while you're maintaining that, raising the hands over the head. From there, the next progression would be taking a 5 or 10 pound plate and raising that overhead too. That's going to be pretty advanced. That's going to take a while to build up to. Okay. The last one of the big 3 is a bird dog. So on your hands and knees, shoulder width, and we're going to go ahead and raise the opposite arm. As we're doing that, we're trying not to let the pelvis and the torso shift. So we're trying to keep everything completely still and neutral and stiff and resist the rotation that's trying to occur through our spine. So you'll notice it's out and then up. Okay, I'm not just kicking out, I'm controlling it, out, and then up together. As I shift, I'm being very careful not to shift my hips. Keep that completely still as if somebody's trying to eat dinner off my low back. Go ahead, do 6 reps per side. Nice slow reps with a hold at the top. Next set through, do 4 reps per side, rest. Next set through, 2 reps per side. These are just starting points as far as the rep ranges. You can go ahead and add a couple reps per set as you get going. That's the starting progression on this third exercise. From here, to get a little bit more advanced as you're going through it, we can go ahead and do holds where you're painting basically 1 foot wide circles, creating a little more instability on each individual rep. So that's the next progression of the bird dog once the first one becomes pain-free and easy. Okay, with any of these exercises, make sure to start a low progression, see how you feel the next day, and as you go, progress incrementally that way. These are exercises that you ideally should do every single day. Just make sure not to progress them every single day until you see how you've recovered the following day or 2.